The question may be raised that if the living entity has to act as the superintendent of the activities of the bodily combination, then how can he be indifferent to the activities of the body? The answer is given here. These activities are completely different from the activities of the spirit soul of the living entity. A crude example can be given in this connection. A businessman riding in a motor car sits in the car, supervises its running, and advises the driver. He knows how much gasoline is used up and he knows everything about the car, but he is still apart from the car and is more concerned with his business. Even while riding in the car, he thinks of his business and his office. He has no connection with the car, although he is sitting there. As the businessman is always absorbed in thoughts of his business, so the living entity can be absorbed in thoughts of rendering loving service to the Lord. Then it will be possible to remain separate from the activities of the material body. The position of neutrality can be possible only for a devotee. The word Baddha Sohrida, bound in friendship, is particularly used here. Karmis, Jnanis, and Yogis cannot be bound in devotional service. Karmis fully engage in the activities of the body. Their aim of life is to give comfort to the body only. Jnanis try to get out of the entanglement by philosophical speculation, but they have no standing in the liberated position. Because they do not take shelter under the lotus feet of the Lord, they fall down from the exalted position of Brahman realization. Yogis also have a bodily concept of life. They think that they can achieve something spiritual by exercising the body through dharana, asana, pranayam, etc. A devotee's position is always transcendental because of his intimate relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, to remain always aloof from the actions and reactions of the body and engage in one's real occupation, namely rendering service to the Lord, can be possible only for devotees. Srila Prabhupada is giving a very beautiful analogy here. Because the pertinent question which time and again haunts a practicing sadhaka is how to supervise how to supervise and not be indifferent. And if one is indifferent, then how the supervision and indifference both can go parallel to each other? Because supervision means getting involved, and indifference means getting detached or getting out of it. If one is out of it, then how to get involved and how to supervise? That is the question. And Prabhupada is giving such a beautiful example. So Prabhupada is giving the example of the man in the car. So his concern is business, and he's traveling in the car for business. So whether he's in the car or not, his mind is preoccupied with business, and he's using car to drive his business. So he may be aware of the details of the car, He may be aware of the details of the car, but then he is not maybe aware of the details of the car, but then he is not uh, uh, the car is not at all his goal. Whatever happens to car is okay with that. So the person's mind is focused with business, and therefore the details of the car, although operating with the details, he doesn't get attached to it. So the key point in this example is the mind is occupied with business. Business is the main thing, car is a means. So suppose something wrong happens to the car, we'll get down, take a taxi and move forward. You get down, get an Ola Uber and move forward. So car or no car, business is the main point. That is the point. So in the same way, Prabhupada is talking about that one practicing sadhaka has to get out of this bodily concept. In the same way, a person has to get out of this bodily concept. So Prabhupada is explaining the profile of a karmi, jnani and yogi is not going to work out because karmis, jnanis and yogis are all hovering around the body. Whereas karmis are directly just feeding the body, everything is centered around the body. Jnanis are also hovering around the body. So their focus is liberation. So their excessive zoom is okay, the body and the entanglement of the body and liberation out of the body. But the zoom is the body only. The body, the entanglement of the body and getting out of the body. This is body naiti. This is body naiti. So that is jnani. But so he is doing parikrama of the body only. He's thinking so absorption by indulgence and absorption by abnegation, both are bodily absorption. That is the problem. So karmi is bodily absorption. Jnani is also bodily absorption because I want to get out of the body. I want to get out of body. So that is his focus. So the karmi, the jnani. Now, the yogis are also same thing. Because the means which they want to focus on is all material means. So they think that by material means they can actually achieve the supreme. And therefore there is excessive focus and zoom on the material means, and therefore it's just body. So what is different in a devotee? A devotee has the opportunity to completely defocus on the body. And unless a sadhaka brings about that defocus, stability and substantial progress in Krishna consciousness will not be realized. So one has to get out of this plane of the body. One has to get out thinking of the body. Because the bodily plane is going to choke us and block us in our Krishna consciousness. That opportunity is very prominently present for a devotee. So that means that body and needs of the body should go completely out of the concern matrix of the devotee. So that is what will keep one in a steady position, or that is what will ensure that one is steadily advancing. Otherwise, one will get choked up. This opportunity is there, but a sadhaka should be committed to take benefit of that opportunity. So, and this is made possible by engagement in devotional service. So one's heart is always fixed and focused on. If one's heart is always fixed and focused on engagement, service of the Lord, then one will not worry about the body. So therefore, we may say, okay, so this is what Lord Vishnu is talking about. That whatever activities are happening, it is the modes which are playing. These modes can only affect the body. And if one wants, the soul can extricate himself completely from this from this cycle. So that means, as a devotee, as a devotee, uh, now this understanding is very important, that what is the nature and food of the soul. The nature and food of the soul is engagement in service to the Lord. What about body? If it goes, fine. If it doesn't go, fine. Therefore a devotee is not afraid of dying, and therefore a devotee should not be much afraid about his maintenance and being also. Okay, tomorrow if we get food, we'll honor prasad, we'll offer it to Lord, we'll honor prasad to keep us alive and continue service. If we don't get food, we can die starving, starving, no problem. No problem. We can die starving, no problem. No problem. But the service should not stop. No, life or no life doesn't matter. Body or no body doesn't matter. So one has to get out of this. And this bodily consciousness is a very powerful quicksand. It's a very powerful quicksand. Uh, it very strongly sucks the living entity in. A living entity where it's very strongly sucked in. So that's the point. That's the point. Therefore, a sadhaka has to have extra focus to get out of this bodily nonsense, this bodily trap. This is a big trap, actually. So life after life, we can keep hovering in simply the needs of the body. Yeah. People say, okay, our needs are not much: food, clothing, shelter. But life after life, millions of lives, the mind will keep hovering about the food, clothing, shelter. I mean, 8.4 lakh species, there is no species who's thinking out of food, clothing, shelter. Is there any species? No species. But that is a trap, actually. So therefore, the point is to take extra measures to focus on the service of the Lord. So much so that one is not concerned about the body. That thought of the body is out of the mind. So then we are healthy. We are thinking of the body, we are not healthy. That means your engagement is less. But if you are not thinking about ourselves at all, that means you're healthily engaged. That much has to be the momentum. That is the point. And the Lord is explaining that. So whatever happens will happen to the body. And whatever happens to the body. And as a soul, one should worry about one's eternal dharma of serving and pleasing the Supreme Lord. So this is so beautifully explained by this analogy. So beautifully explained. So he's not the controller of the body. He has secondary, Prabhupada says, secondary tenancy. We are tenants. The body is the room. So the body is a room. Therefore, one need not worry about the details of the body. So what happens to the body? It's not very much in our control. That means what happens materially is not very much in our control. So it's not just the body. What will happen materially is not very much in our control. So, like we may try, but whether one will have good health or not in control. Whether one will have resources, money or not is not in our control. We may try to serve, whether material success will come or not. That's not in our control. Like we can attempt to preach, whether people will take to it or not. That's not in our control. So the point is, if we focus on our dharma, then only we can go beyond it. And the short way, which can what we can say, what is the point which can say that okay, we are nicely absorbed and engaged. The point is, the short way is that we are out of this thought of the body. That bodily security, what will happen to me? How will I maintain myself? We should worry about so that is a trap, actually. It is an individual's choice how much one wants to enter that trap and be entangled. But the more we get entangled, the less we'll have degrees of freedom to serve Krishna. So, and the Lord is still one can get completely out of it. uh, then one can advance very nicely. So service and the mission of the Lord has to be the focus. This is such a beautiful analogy Prabhupada is giving. So therefore, a businessman should think about business. And a businessman should think about business, not about facilities and comforts. One who is thinking about facilities and comforts, he cannot do business. That is the point. A businessman, if one has to do business, he has to, he cannot think about luxuries and enjoyment and comfort. Luxuries, enjoyment, comfort, then he cannot do business. So that is the point. That is the point. So Prabhupada is selling. So just like it is said, so this is the point. So then facility, no facility, businessman is goes on. No, is it not? Because his focus is business. So whatever happens, he'll continue. This is the point, actually, that uh, if the mind is absorbed on the plane of the body and the facilities, uh, so if the mind is absorbed on the plane of the body and facilities, then what happens is that is the sure short way towards degradation and entanglement. So the mind has to be absorbed on a higher plane, that no matter what happens on the material plane, on the spiritual plane, our service should continue. That is the point. So that is the point. So the less we worry and the less we endeavor for the body, the more we have time and space to endeavor for the Supreme Lord, and the better off we will be. So devotee means, just like a businessman means, one who is not interested in luxury. He just wants his business to flourish. So he's not a parasite of luxuries. He's not entangled. He is ready to do any austerity for the sake of business. He can, from North Pole to South Pole, he will run, 10 times a month for the sake of business. What is food, what is clothing, what is sleeping, what is eating. He won't understand. That means he is very much solid. That means he will, success is guaranteed if that level of absorption is there. Similarly, if in the service a devotee has that level of absorption, that that there is no other priority in his mind, that means that is the surety ensuring matrix, that is spiritual life will go forward. And to the degree there is dilution, to that degree there are probabilities. To that degree, so the progress, advancement slows down. Beautiful analogy Prabhupada is giving of the businessman. So the car stops working, he'll take an Uber and move forward. No problem. The car meets an accident, he'll move forward. Even if he's there in his hospital with the leg is fractured and he's lying down, he'll still work with business. That is a businessman. Is it not? Body, no body. Facility, no facility. Mission should go on. That is the point. Yes. So yes, so Jayapataka Maharaj is a live example for that. We have seen our acharyas have all exhibited this, and they are exhibiting this because that is what is expected for all of us, from all of us to follow. Let's go ahead. Samahas, samanot, samam, madhyamad, madhyamadhama, sukhe cha dukhe cha jitendri yashasa. Mayo Mayopakalaptakhila loka samyuto Vidhatsva Virakhila loka rakshanam. My dear heroic king, please keep yourself always equipoise and treat people equally, whether they are greater than you, in the intermediate stage, or lower than you. Do not be disturbed by temporary distress or happiness. Fully control your mind and senses. In this transcendental position, try to execute your duty as a king in whatever condition of life you may be posted by my arrangement. For your only duty here is to give protection to the citizens of your kingdom. Here is an example of receiving direct instruction from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu. One has to execute the order of Lord Vishnu, whether receiving it directly from him or from his bona fide representative, the spiritual master. Arjuna fought the battle of Kurukshetra under the direct order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. Similarly, here, Prithu Maharaj is also being given orders by Lord Vishnu regarding the execution of his duty. We have to stick to the principles stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Vyavasatmika buddhi. Every man's duty is to receive orders from Lord Krishna or from his bona fide representative and take these orders as his life and soul without personal consideration. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur states that one should not care very much whether he is going to be liberated or not, but he should simply execute the direct order received from the spiritual master. If one sticks to the principle of abiding by the order of the spiritual master, he will always remain in a liberated position. A common man must execute the rules and regulations of Varnashrama Dharma by working in his prescribed duty according to the caste system. Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Okay. And the spiritual order system, Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas. If one simply executes regularly and strictly the injunctions given for the different divisions of life, then one satisfies Lord Vishnu. As a king, Prithu Maharaj was ordered by Lord Vishnu to keep himself always aloof from the activities of the bodily situation and to engage always in the service of the Lord and thus keep himself in the liberated stage. The word Baddha Sohridaha in the previous verse is explained herewith. One can fully remain in intimate connection with the Supreme Lord directly or receive orders from his bona fide representative, the spiritual master, and execute the orders sincerely. When one keeps aloof from the activities of the body, the Lord helps us by giving us directions how to act in devotional service and thus advance on the path back home, back to Godhead. He instructs us outwardly in the form of the spiritual master. Therefore, one should not accept the spiritual master as an ordinary human being. The Lord says, Acharyam mam vijaniya navamanyeta karhichit. One should not treat the spiritual master as an ordinary human being, for he is the substitute for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One should treat the spiritual master as the Supreme Personality of Godhead and never be envious of him or consider him to be an ordinary human being. If we follow the instruction of the spiritual master and execute devotional service to the Lord, we will remain always free from the contamination of bodily and material activities, and our life will be successful. Prabhupada is explaining very beautifully in this purport. One has to execute the order of Lord Vishnu, whether receiving it directly from him or from his bona fide representative, the spiritual master. So Lord Vishnu uh, is describing very beautifully here. So Lord Vishnu is giving such a beautiful instruction. The Lord is explaining here that uh, this is so amazing. The Lord is explaining here uh, that whatever position I put you in, you just perform your duty. This is quite interesting. Yeah. The Lord is not giving a guarantee that He is going to put His devotee in a favorable situation. The Lord is not giving a guarantee that He is going to put a devotee in a positive situation or in a peaceful situation. The Lord is telling, whatever situation, you just perform your duty. You just perform your duty. So in one sense, you see, Prithu Maharaj, he wanted to do his service, and for doing his service, he was endeavoring. And now, in one sense, he has been reduced quite helpless in his service. His service was to ensure that benefit for this kingdom, for his kingdom. And he wanted to ensure all around prosperity, which includes material well-being also, so that they can focus and absorb in their spiritual path. So the material basic necessities are taken care of. And for that, he knew that, okay, let me do, he knew that, okay, if I do 100 Ashwamedh yajnas, then it will be very good for everyone. It will bestow a lot of auspiciousness and blessings. And now he has been reached to 99 and he has been stopped. And he has been reduced helpless in the service which he wanted to do, following the injunctions of the Lord, following the injunctions of the Vedas, not adharmically, fully dharmic. And then also he is caught. And he has been reduced helpless. At 99, he has been reduced helpless. At 99, he has been reduced helpless. So at 99, he has been reduced helpless. So here, the Lord is explaining the situation. The Lord is telling that, you see the situation, I can arrange anything. So one can be reduced helpless at 30, 40 only. Another person will be reduced helpless at 99. Is it not? Prithu Maharaj at 99, he could not make a century. 99. So and he was stopped. So here the Lord is teaching a very good example, very powerful example. Sometimes what happens to devotees is that, so sometimes what happens to devotees is that that while executing a service, when we get attached to the facilities, when we get attached to the environment, so the environment is taken away, the devotee may get very disturbed. Here the Lord is explaining the way to get out of it. Because Krishna is explaining that you may be put in any situation. So some situation more favorable, some situation less favorable. The Lord is explaining, and whatever situation you are in, you don't keep bringing out situation. You don't keep bringing out situation. So you should worry about, okay, whatever situation you are in, how to serve. Is it? How to preach, how to serve. That's what you should worry about. So therefore, just keep the order of the spiritual master in front. That's what Prabhupada is explaining. For Arjuna, it was the Supreme Lord who had to, who was there to direct. Or Prithu Maharaj, it is the Supreme Lord who is there to direct. And Prithu Maharaj, the Lord is telling, don't worry. You scored only 99, no problem. No? So in the centuries list, your name is not there. But you do your duty. Is it not? That's the point. You continue serving. Is it not? Situation, not guaranteed. Mercy, guaranteed. That's the point. So for Prithu Maharaj, it was the Lord. For us, what is there for us? The instruction of the spiritual master. That is why instruction of the spiritual master has to be kept in the foreground, because the travel is not a smooth one. Material world journey is not smooth. The journey is going to face a lot of bumps, lot of jumps and bumps are going to be there. So when there are bumps, then one should focus on where to, what is the direction pointer? What is it that can give us direction of now how to move forward, where to move forward? That is the instruction of the spiritual master. That is the instruction of the spiritual master. So therefore, one has to understand that one has to keep this as the prime focus. Situations are not going to be easy. Situations are not going to be easy. This is what, just like after Srila Prabhupada left the planet, no, it was not, nothing was easy for any of Prabhupada's disciples. If you see the lives of all the Prabhupada disciples, for not a single devotee, it was easy. Every devotee, all the ISKCON leaders, all the devotees faced a lot of problems. And Prabhupada left the planet. This is not. But we saw that, why could, how could the devotees who are, presently leading our movement could carry on? They the Prabhupada is giving this formula. They just kept Prabhupada's words as a focus. They just kept Srila Prabhupada's words as a focus. No. So the words and the instructions of the spiritual master, and the spiritual master's instructions are there for everyone. On the first note, Srila Prabhupada's instructions are there for everyone, for all of us. Is it not? Prabhupada said, anybody who reads my books is my disciple. So there is no difference between a specific instruction, a general instruction, a common instruction. Everything has the same potency. Everything has the same potency. So sometimes some devotees, hanker, okay, I should get a personal time of the Guru Maharaj, the Diksha Guru. So yes, if one gets it is supreme mercy that the Guru is ready to, extending so much to give us time. But it's not that Guru is not giving mercy. In every instruction which the Guru is giving, there is full mercy. It depends on us whether we want to accept it or not. It depends on us whether we want to accept it or not. Full mercy is available. Full mercy is available. Full mercy is available. Every instruction of the spiritual master. Whether in a book